Hey yo everybody, XDI here, welcome back to a Let's Play of Dig or Die Casual Edition. I don't know why I say edition, casual Let's Play. As you can see, this is the third base design and third save file, which I've dubbed Waterworld. This is where I really maximize the whole Waterworld concept, using water in the best ways possible, or the water physics that is, to maximize getting around in the world. Base defense in particular, I discovered like how awesome water was in base defense, which you'll see by night. We're almost at night, so I'm not going to take you through a world tour as to how I set up this kind of structure, this kind of insanity. I did determine that, I forget how I did that, or if I did that right after this, like I closed this up and to see how high I could get this. Maybe that's the next base, we'll get there. I'm sort of reliving, maybe I did this stuff a year ago, before I started the casual play. Oops, I clicked off my screen. And so I forget what led to what, so I'm kind of reliving these experiences as I go. Thank you guys for coming along and getting this far into the casual series, and letting me kind of have these two parts to just relive these old times from a year ago. And to be honest, it's like this was one of the first series on YouTube for me. I was still learning how to do the technical stuff and audio stuff. I was still getting comfortable doing LPs. I feel like I've gotten a lot more comfortable in the last 6 to 7 months. Being able to commentate as I go. This is a game I very much love, and I do want to see more people Let's Play it, and I wanted to bring this to the channel so that I could be the channel. Sorry, I wanted to bring this game to just a channel with this kind of dedication, because I couldn't find Let's Plays of this game back a year ago when I really wanted them, and so I felt like that was like the niche I wanted to fill. So I do want to continue this casual Let's Play. It's going to be nighttime soon. I'll talk to you about the base design next, and then I'll show you what all this means down here. I'm not going to show you what's down there until I get there. I will say this is still a playthrough that I hadn't completed the game. I hadn't done the two bosses down below in the deep realms. And I hadn't done the thing over the volcanoes, things like that. So nowhere near the rocket still. I was still having way too much fun building a base. That's really what it came down to. I was experimenting with base design and the whole overkill concept that I eventually really get into with the casual Let's Play. As you can see here, I laced this entire ceiling here because I started getting these ants as enemies from the crystal caverns. They were destroying my base in this underwater setup, because it turns out that they're actually pretty competent under the water. These flyers, no problem. This kind of base design will destroy flyers, because the water level being this high, what it actually creates is when a flyer tries to come and attack the guns down here, or tries to get at you if you're a little lower, like let's say here, which normally I am, and I just shoot like this. This is pretty much the defense of the game, because ants will come up from below there. I've got healing turrets all the way down here, which I'll show you in a sec, that keep the base intact below me so I don't lose all this water. But anything that tries to come into this water slows down. That includes any land creatures, like these bugs right here, any hounds, which I haven't had in a while. They got replaced by these energy bugs. So it looks like I got to the granite caves. I just hadn't gone deeper below the granite caves yet. But yeah, they're still doing significant damage to my structure. These ants in particular, man. So, and then the volcano. There's some stuff in the volcano that also really compromises the base later on. I don't have it in this Let's Play, but that's pretty much when I stopped this base design. We're at the tail end of the day here. We got a teleporter here. Here, let's see how many. I still only have one teleporter set up in this design. So I'll quickly talk about this part. Let that finish off. Actually, I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so we have a scenario here where I learned about how water pressure going down on the hydroelectric generators is what kept these at 3 pips. So I wanted as much vertical pressure of water maintained at all times with this base design, so that I could bring more heavy turrets, more heavy repair turrets. I wanted to put more lightning Tesla turrets in place. I wanted this to be super powered. This is all energy right here, these guys right here, if I remember correctly. And so what I did is I created a scenario like this where I could keep stacking these hydroelectric generators, and they would always be at 5 pips as long as water was passing my top level here. And as you can see, I created a natural funnel that would maintain the water flow down this way, which of course, as you've seen in the last base design, was when I learned that, hey, wait a minute, I can I can leverage the water that's coming out of those 6 hydroelectric generators, which this is a lot of water right now, right guys? So I could leverage this water to then continue the idea of this micro dam down below, right above the subterranean ocean. I could have taken a teleporter to show you this, but of course I'm just showing you that nothing's really changed with my wall design here with my single mine, except when I got to this point here. I did that for an escape mechanism later on, because of course you get to a micro dam like this, that if I didn't make this, I would be flooding my pipeline over and over again. So I created this extra piece here and this here so I could get out here if I had to. But I have water flowing out this way to get out of the way. And then of course I've got same setup here where I feel like I might have lost it again there. No, here it is. Here's the teleporter. I had it here usually, but because it kept getting destroyed during night attacks, where I kept pushing it. That never changed. I always pushed it, but I moved it up here and I protected it a little bit better. Anyways, let's see what I did down here. So this was still before the version that gave you the mini-map, so I still didn't really know where I was going, which is why that whole single pipeline strategy worked back in the day. It just allowed you to not lose yourself when you got to scenarios like this. As you can see, I didn't really light the way to find. I got ant armor, I probably got the hell out, and there's a pipeline somewhere in here that would have been how I continued doing my exploration to get the pieces I need to advance, but not stick around. Yeah, I can't find. There it is. Here, let's go take a look. Actually, I'm curious to see how this played out. Spending a little more time with this playthrough, but with this demo of this. Yeah, okay, here we go. So the lights marked my path. I thought I did something like that. So I still marked the path. Because I had a jetpack, I would basically see how far I could get. This is where I did my aluminum grinds, and this is where I stopped. So the concept here is that I would keep on going down this way, and instead of doing shotgun blasts and wasting time on platforms, this is where I would go. I would find out how far my jetpack could go, and then I'd carve out a little nook, put a light there to know that that's how far I got, and be done with it. And that's it. Yeah, I would have continued down this way. And for you guys who know what's down there, I'm not going to give it away right now. So what that nook would have been, maybe this right here. Anyways, that's it for this base design. Maybe we should check out. Actually, now I want to check out. Here, I'm gonna just reload. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, that's why this is kind of crippled actually. So I did a reload. So there was an add-on in the game. There was an update to the game that doesn't allow you to close these these doors would automatically stay open if they were built, or they are now, if they're built by a line. So you can't have one of these automatic doors on a current, otherwise they will stay open. Generally speaking, this would actually stay closed. And here, let's kill this and this, and you'll see how I actually had this set up. So this was actually an airlock. So see, I can't even open it because open it. Yeah, see, I couldn't even open it. It was locked with that current. So what I would do is I would lock this. This is what so I found out that there's a maximum water level height because I definitely learned it. What I would do is I would keep myself up here. I would let this flood during the day while I was doing my exploratory rounds, and then I would open. So you can see that's a whole airlock system I built in there. Again, I can't open this door if it's on a current right there. So I would open this. Can I close this? Yes, I can. There we go. So then I would, nope, I gotta take out this current. Sorry, I gotta show you this, guys, because this marks a moment in history. So there you go. This was my airlock system. Damn it, get this energy out of here. There we go. Okay, so there's my airlock system. This would always stay dry in here. This would only let in enough water that it would take for me to get out and do my day rampages. Otherwise, all this rain would flood my base, maybe up until here by the time I started the night. So anything coming at me would actually get blocked and slowed down by a heavy layer of water up here. And I would stay in this hatch right here. So that I would force things to come into this area still. But still, if I lost too much water and things came from below, you would see like they play out the way you guys saw it play out, where things get very deadly down here. I didn't like that. That takes us to the next base, and this base called Clean Start. This is where I started. I designed this thing with grid paper. We still have the same problem here where this is on a current, so it stays open. Unfortunately, I can't close it, but the goal here would be to close it. This was that airlock system taken to another level. So I gridded. Here, let's see if I can. What is that one? Is that a medium? So we have a medium turret here, and so the design strategy here. That was actually a small one. I don't even have heavies yet. I'm really early on, guys. I don't even have ant armor. So there you go. You can see right away how this was built, right? I built a repair. I always call these alleys, whatever they are, a gutter, right? Based on the radius of a light repair turret. And my idea here is that when I got a heavy one, I would expand this outwards and create another gully here. So there you go. And let's show you here. Here, let's put this guy down here to show you faster. As you can see, I would put guns here eventually instead of lights, right? So you can see it goes right to the bottom one here. This one gets lost, but then that's what this one here is for. So this is really, I mean, again, grid paper is your friend with this game. If you want to like do base design and just mess around, just get some grid paper and start finding it, like find out what the radius is of these things, and then just maximize. You can see a heavy in here. All of these guys trying to heal it in case something comes up from below, but there you go, right? So this whole base design is drafted around this heavy turret. So if you guys want to take that as inspiration, go for it. Keep in mind, again, this current needs to change out to here. You can't have a door on a current. And if I open this, I might have nah, it doesn't matter. That here, just this always bothered me, was the jumping. Like you can, always a little annoying to me. That's why I would fill this with water and just swim out, is how that normally played out. Okay, so there's your gullyway, so because this is going to fill up, right? But it only fills up that much. Then I close the door, and then I go on my way. Actually, this is probably a very close. This is a very close example of what I might have set up for the last playthrough. So here's the dam. Again, as deep as I could possibly make it. You want as much pressure coming down this way as possible. Oh, it's not a resave. This was a replay completely because I only have 2 here instead of 6. Wow. It's like an early death for me. Go to shotgun blast my way out of this. So in this case, it was Waterworld, but as you can see, I wasn't even like... Oh, sorry, this isn't Waterworld. The last one was Waterworld. Oh, man, I didn't show you how far the Waterworld went. Maybe I'll go back real quick to show you that after this one, but I tried to limit the Waterworld here and do it as fast as possible. You can see I don't have ant armor yet. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have anything past reinforced, so I didn't go up top either to the Skylands. This was really just to see how fast could I create a Waterworld scenario without the Waterworld. Let's take a look on this side of the world real quick because I'm interested to see... Well, I'm on day 40, so this was still a 40-day play, despite it being... Okay, so I got far enough to... Oh, I'm going to kill myself if I'm not careful here. There we go. Yeah, so still 40 days, man. That's insane, considering I cleared the game in like 50. So... Oh, I look like I might have started working towards a jetpack. I just didn't get it. Yeah, there's nothing beyond this point, so maybe I was still looking for her. I was still looking for the queen. And here we go. So this is when I learned this method of traversing the chasm here. This is where I started getting the ideas of like, how could I do this faster? That's how. Well, I mean, without dying. I think I showed everything I could show here. There's pretty much nothing else. As you can see, there's a platform right here off screen. So I pretty much jumped. I got to here. I still didn't master the whole double, triple shotgunning. Let's load Waterworld real quick. Yeah, I think I opened up one. Nah, they just automatically... Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just, let's go all the way to the other side. And let's see this Waterworld play out. Sorry for jumping around. I think you guys get the point. I'm not really doing this as a chronological look through time. More like just what informed the way I play this game. Oh, this is what I wanted to look at. Guys, look at this. This was my longest play. 169 days... And I still hadn't broken down past the deep caves, into the deep caves. I hadn't done the thing over the volcano, right? Like I was at 169 days of play. So that's where, I was just resource harvesting. You can see this is all pure Waterworld. I used the concrete method here across the entire world to make sure no water was being lost to soil. And then I basically worked on making this tower as high and sound as possible. Reinforced concrete. There you go. Nothing really else to see here. You already know the drill up top for the Firefly Queen. This is also what I wanted to see. Good lord, 169 days. That's fascinating. But in any case, I'm going to cut around all the rest of that. I'm going to take you to the casual play, and here's the culmination of all the things you just saw. This is the Waterworld concept matched with This is when the update came out. As you can see, we got a mini map. As you can see, I can open and close these hatches. Well, I think this line is actually nowhere. This is where you have to start building the line out. You can't have it hit that red node right there. That's all. You got to have it hit it like this, but not go across it. I don't know why. Maybe that was fixed later on, but let's take a look here. So we have the... I didn't really have to reinforce this as much because it didn't look like things were coming down here. I'm almost trying to remind myself how that casual play had ended off, but the idea here is that I was going to stack these hydroelectric generators up this way as I needed them. So I wasn't going to go overkill with them, but as I needed them. I'm still on a day 82 cycle here, which is pretty nuts. Oops. That doesn't matter, but I want to keep this clean because this is the game. Actually, I won't save. I'll come back to this Let's Play, but I'm not going to save. This was a little slow going, and this does eventually flood the entire base. Let's take a look, or let me remind myself how all this played out. So, if I recall correctly, if I take this back, thank you, that is based on, yeah, so making sure I can heal the healer, repair the repairer, and this guy right here is to repair the opening, the base, maybe that guy as well. This healer, I think it's just at this point I had so many resources that I could just afford to do all these yeah, okay, so repair that brick right there. These were the latest, if I recall correctly. I had trouble learning how these worked because I had them up here and I wasn't hitting things. They had to jump over them, and it only really affects these two, but not the square that it's in. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going to go with this base design. I'm not even certainly sure I'm going to keep it, to be honest. I'll see as I go. Here, oh, it's almost nighttime. Let me see how this pans out for night, just to see if I can remind myself where some of the gaps are, or what enemies are coming, or how I'm going to continue this this casual play. I've had other base ideas. So one of the base ideas I actually used in my speed run. I thought that would have been the best place to have a base, and that's of course having it in the Skylands, like the highest island in the Skylands to the top left is where I built the base, and for the end game, and it worked out pretty wonderfully. So I'm not going to do that one anymore. I had the idea of building a base in the Kraken's area. I still call it the Kraken, the Mad Crab. Just sealing off that area with an enclosure to the left, and then outfitting it completely as a subterranean base defense, and try to make things always come from the right. Now, I don't think the game does that because I think things spawn just off screen, and then we'll start eating away at the walls that are against the side of the board. I don't think they will always come around. I think things will chew their way through the inside. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, or whether I want to do that, or the next option to do in this Let's Play is to go all the way down and try to continue the game. See that? The bomb came in, blew this up. Wow. So I've got healers like totally taking care of this section here. Now, I know what's past this point of the game because I cleared it on the minimalist run. So I'm already seeing very serious threats to even this base design. I think it's pretty powerful. I think if I were to outfit these heavy turrets with things like plasma, then of course this would I'm fairly certain would defend itself. But I do see a risk to these openings right here. I also need to control the water levels here. I did let this run a few days, so we're on 82. I forget how many days, but I didn't record it, or I started recording it, but I threw away. There was like 4 days after this point where I wanted to test how high this water level was getting, and it does get a little too high, and it becomes a risk to the stuff down here. So I need to keep this water level below these ants are problem below this level right here. So I need to make the ants want to come for it, and yeah, I don't want to say much more. I'll let the casual play take us there, but I don't think this would be the final base design. Or I would like to see how to explore this more with like repair turns, like so many repair turns that it works. If I were to say what has been my favorite base, and when I'm wrapping up this look look at the series, not the series, sorry, my experience with this game up to the point where the series began. That is all I've played in the game. I hadn't, like I already said, I hadn't cleared the game until the minimalist run, and that was after a lot of just probably a couple, hours of just researching the best ways to optimize build and stuff like that. I had basically left the casual mindset of playing this game, and I got into the logical part of what happens in my head sometimes, where, as you can see, like signs of it right here and in the past bases, just mapping out the most optimal ways to build a base, the most minimal way to build a base, and that's of course what led to the minimalist run of no base until end of game, no base, no turrets until end of game. And those are things I like to explore. Those were concepts I like to explore. I didn't want to do that in this run because I want to explore base building in the casual run, and other things like how to maybe flood the volcano, how to build a bridge over the chasm over yonder and flood the red fern area, things like that. So yeah, I haven't done the red thing over there over the volcano, so I'll do that in this Let's Play. It's just maybe we'll experiment with different ways of how to do it, or I don't know, it's more exploratory that way, and maybe I'll answer some questions that some of you guys might have who are playing the game and trying things yourselves, and maybe you want to, I don't know, try different variants of what I'm trying. Suggest them in the comments. I'm willing to try anything with this game. You guys feel free to drop the comments below. That's the whole point of these last two parts. Just giving you guys a baseline of understanding how far, at the extents I'm willing to go to take this into the 200, 300 day, level of play. I don't really see how I would go that far, but as I've mentioned, I don't even have enough titanium to build the earliest of the rocket pieces. So that's probably, at least a couple dozen days to get us some titanium. So I would rather explore stuff up here before pushing to endgame with this playthrough. If you guys want to see endgame, go check out the minimalist run. It's a lot more efficient, and then I spend half of that Let's Play building a base up in the Skylands to do endgame, because you cannot complete this game without turrets and a base. So let's keep this series as just a romp and just something I can record here and there, and just enjoy the journey of Dig or Die. I don't think that's done enough either on YouTube, and hell, I don't hear about it enough outside of YouTube. When you clear the game, by the way, you get this mode called sandbox mode. Oh my god, guys, you can do whatever the hell you want, and I see a lot of, I see not a lot, but I see some of that on YouTube, but it's not as exciting as suffering through some of that grind for the resources without having god mode weapons. So hope you guys enjoyed this, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm rambling on at this point on a still screen, which I'm sure is not that fascinating for you guys, but things to come, folks. Come around next time. Don't forget to explore, engage, and aspire. Peace, everybody.